Hey guys, how's it going? Yuri here with Core Movement. So the purpose of this video is to go through in detail the fit test for the Dirty 30 challenge. So the first half of this video, I am going to actually demo and show you and explain to you things that I'm looking for with these exercises if you decide to do the fit test at home on your own, or if you want to wait until we do the exercises together on class on Monday. So the first half of this video, I'm going to demo. The second half of the video, I'm actually going to turn the timer on and do the actual exercises. So if you want to do them with me and watch them later, or do them before we do it on Monday to kind of get yourself a little prepared for it, go right ahead. Before we get started, just wanted to show you, I am using the app, the interval timer. So that's what it looks like under the App Store. It's free. I love it. I use it all the time. So that's what I'm going to be using to count down the 30 seconds and minute. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, you are going to need a loop band ideally with this exercise, but I will also cue what to think of or do if you do not have a loop band. Other than that, and you'll need a chair or an ottoman can work, but usually a sofa will be a little too giving, a little more difficult, but can still be used if that's what is in the room with you. I brought a chair out of my kitchen, so that's what I'm going to use because we're in the mindset of working out from home. So let's go ahead and get our mat out, and let's start with our 30-second, 3-second negative push-ups on our toes. So whether you were able to do push-ups or not, I'll show you what I am looking for. Let's turn that screen down a little bit so you can see. So elbows 45 degrees tucked in. So think 8 and 4. I want a letter A. The biggest mistake I see with push-ups, especially with women, we have those elbows out 9 and 3. I need you to put your thumbs under the armpit, close those elbows in, and that is the angle that I'm looking for. I want a triangle. Bottom corner, top of triangle, your elbow is the other triangle corner, okay? So think 8 and 4. So as we're pressing up and down, I need those elbows slightly tucked in. At the same time, if you watch the intro key terms video that I have, it reviews as far as what is a tuck, what is contraction of the upper abdominals, location of sternum. So when it comes to push-ups, you really have to be strong in the upper abdominals, pulling the abdominals in where the sternum is in order to get up and out of the pocket at the bottom of that push-up. So whether you are knees or toes, day one is all about fitness test to seeing where you currently are on your journey. So knees or toes, I want you to come down 1, 2, 3, press it up, down 1, 2, 3, press it up. The things I'm looking for as you're coming down, biggest mistake I see, people start to either drive their butt up or they start letting their hips be the first thing to touch. So in order to fix that, I want you to focus on taking up pelvis, tuck it under, squeeze your powerhouse, and then start to float forward onto those toes and lower down. Now, if you have a difficulty coming up out of the push-up on your toes, then I want you to come down on your toes, but up on your knees. So that's how you start to build strength through the movement. So coming down 1, 2, 3, drop your knees, press it up, back to toes, okay? Day one is all about learning what you're capable of doing and then understanding through the 30 days how to get to where we want to be on being on our toes. Second exercise, a roll up to a boat or a teaser. So let's start with your roll up first because this is a two-part exercise. So coming into a seated position, grab back of the hamstrings, lean on back, find your C curve. My tailbone is tucked under. I've contracted my powerhouse. So 9 and 3, 12 and 6, all contracted here. Now, focusing on whether hands sliding along the hamstrings or in front, I want you to articulate your spine. I want you to come down and then tuck your chin. Remember, the bottom of the abdominal exercise starts with the sternum. Contract the upper abdominals as you curl up. So this is your roll up portion. So whether you use hands to go behind the head and use them as a little bit of momentum to help you, I need you to understand how to wind up and contract to use the upper abdominals to get up from the bottom of the sit-up and not use the hip flexors as much, okay? Once we've mastered being able to do this, now your boat is being able to come to a seated position with your knees tabletop. So this is your Pilates tabletop. Teaser is grabbing back of the ankles and extending them out, knees extended, knees are long. So the full exercise in 30 seconds is going to be rolling down, arms are going to extend behind head, roll it up, come to your boat. Inhale, coming down, exhale, rolling up, okay? So biggest mistake I see with people is that they kind of kip it. They bounce off that bottom in order to get up. You've lost total connection of how to use the upper abdominals. You're kipping and using hip flexors. You've lost the idea of the exercise. So I need you to be able to contract from the upper in order to wind up. At the same time, there is nothing wrong as you're rolling up. Grab back to those hamstrings, extend the knees. It's wherever you're at currently on day one to be able to do that exercise. Now, if you have a tender tailbone, you can either double fold the mat. You can come up into a modified crunch. You can focus on coming here, lift up the knees, extend out, slide it down. Options. But as you're coming onto forearms, I'm still contracting upper abdominals using my lower in order to still do the exercise. So those are some options. A band bridge ladder. So you're gonna have a loop band. Let me grab my loop band. You're gonna place it around your legs and above your knees. I want it to kind of be a light resistance loop band, nothing too terribly taut or tight. I want you to be able to open up the hips without too much struggle. So this is my loop band, little green one, a couple dollars. Get them easily, Amazon, Walmart, Target, wherever. So have it around your legs. This is my Brett Contreras exercise. I cannot take credit for this one. So you want to have tension in that band the entire time. Knees are 90 degrees. Tuck the pelvis under, create a nice flat seal. Drive up onto those elbows, anchor the armpits, wind up the hamstrings and glutes. Now it's a ladder. If you start at 15, we're going to do 15 bridges up and down. So 15, 14, 13 is kind of the tempo, okay? Once you get to 15, then you're going to hold it up and you're going to abduct. Abduction is hip external rotation. So I'm using my hips to drive my knees out, but I'm not just rocking to the outsides of my feet. Yes, they might roll out a little bit, but I need you to feel the outer glute. Some muscles love palpation, so poke, spank, prod it, whatever you need, grab it, but make sure that you feel that outer glute is what's doing the primary motion on the abduction. Once you do 15 of those, you go down to 14, up and down, hold, 14 abductions, 13 up and down, 13 abductions. We go all the way down to 1, okay? The idea is to do it without needing to drop the hips, rest. However, if your low back needs it because hamstrings or the hips are a little bit weaker, go right ahead. I'd rather you rest in order to connect still mind-muscle connection before just compensating and cranking them out and doing your body more harm than good. Exercise 4, a 1-minute plank on forearms, toes tucking. So again, go back to the intro to key terms video. So we have a natural arch in that lumbar spine. Take that pelvis, slightly tuck it under. So it's not a twerk. So when I take that tailbone and I slightly tuck it under, all of a sudden I've pulled my pelvic floor muscle contents all up. I've contracted my lower pelvic floor muscles. I'm squeezing the abdominals. Notice how my upper half stays nice and tall. And as I'm squeezing and tucking under, everything pulls in. Think 9 and 3, think 12 and 6. So with that said, I am on forearms and toes. I want feet hip width apart, forearms, hands apart, ideally not clasped together, relaxing the shoulders. There's my neutral lumbar spine. I want you to tuck it under, squeeze, nice neutral release. Tuck under, squeeze, natural release. So with this exercise, you will not see or feel, you will not see very much movement, but you should feel it. As you're tucking under, you should feel everything contracted and nice and tight. If you have a hard time contracting or feeling the muscles working, I need you to drop to the knees and I need you to squeeze, hold, and feel through this, okay? That's a plank tuck. So we will do that for 1 minute. You can rest, shake it out. When you're ready, we'll go into your 1-minute army crawl. So forearms and toes. This is going to require some shoulder stabilization. Focus on a nice, good plank hold. I'm going to travel it. I say about 3 feet, but really it's just kind of working with whatever the distance is in your room. So just think or reference a yoga mat. Travel a couple of steps forward. So with this exercise, we are pulling from the lats. We're pushing with the chest and shoulders. But the entire time, I do not want for you to elevate shoulders to ears. That requires traps. I want you to use the lats. I want biceps off of forearms. I need you to focus on driving the hands into the ground. Focus on the tuck. You got to squeeze quads. You got to squeeze the butt. If you feel like your hips are dropping too much as you're climbing forward and back, and they're starting to do this, and you're starting to feel a bow or a heavy arch in that low back, I need you to regress the movement. I need you to come to knees, and I want you to just hold a plank. Or option, if crawling is just not doable right now for you, then I want you to be on your tippy toes, and I want you, this is called rocking, float to the tippy toes, and then I just come to my forefoot. I'm still using my lats, I'm still using my shoulders, but it's a little bit of a regression where I'm not traveling so much, and I can really connect muscles deeper, okay? So those are your options. A single leg Bulgarian split squat. Okay, so this is where you're gonna need a chair. So have your kitchen chair nearby. I'm gonna start with my right leg in front. So realizing with a more household furniture piece, as you come to this position, my left foot is on the chair, my right foot not. Most people will not have this kind of flexibility. I totally understand that. So this is where you're gonna need a little bit of support or something nearby in order for you to hold, in order for you to keep this back hip up. I will show you options, okay? So think of a reverse lunge. So you wanna tuck the back hip. My right leg is primarily the leg that I am working. Heavy tuck in left. I'm gonna come down, come all the way up. So my left knee is driving straight down, but it's also going a little bit back. At the same time, my front right leg with muscles actively working. Front right hamstring, glute, and then quad and glute on that way up. So focusing on keeping this back hip tucked under. As you're driving down, yes, you are gonna get a huge stretch to the hip flexor. Things I'm looking for as you're going into your Bulgarian split squat. It requires a lot of one leg stabilization. I want your front knee to drive towards the toes, but not over the toe. At the same time, as you're coming down, you gotta watch that knee, no valgus. You gotta keep that knee in line with the second and third toe, your hip, your shoulder. If you feel like at any point as you're coming down and this hip that's working is starting to do this and you just can't because you don't have the flexibility in hip extension but driving back, then here's the modification. You do a reverse static lunge for 30 seconds. So I'll do the other leg, just because my other leg's getting tired. Back hip tucked, I'm on my toe box. Make it 90, a little more successful. Hands heart center, hands on hips, wherever your jam is, but still same cues, but you still gotta keep a tuck in that back hip. Front knee still drives towards second, third toe, not over. Still working hamstring, quad, glute. Hips not hiking, but your hips are naturally hinging. With this one, it is okay for the upper body to naturally hinge forward a hair, because with this exercise, I do want you to intentionally load the front hamstring a hair more. Being more upright is going to be a quad focus, but I want you to save that for the pistol squat. So tying again all that in, whether foot is elevated or not, work where you have the mobility through the hip today, and let's get the mobility or closer to it by day 30. So focusing on back hip staying tucked, 90 degrees, okay? Last and final, a pistol squat. Pistol squat. So that is essentially a single leg squat. It requires a lot of quad, glute strength, and core strength. So we'll break it down. So pistol squat. Focus on the chair level, 90 degrees, okay? You want the knee stacked over ankle. So my butt is slightly pushed back like we normally should. But if you have a tight tailbone or tight hamstrings, you're gonna have a little tilted under tailbone. So focus on being neutral first, okay? Find your 90, I'm gonna bump my right foot out. Now, I'm gonna keep what's called a staggered stance to start, meaning my right heel is down, but we're gonna actively work through our left leg. So set yourself up just like you would with a normal squat. So this is our squat, right? So find your squat. I'm looking for knee driving towards second, third toe. Notice how my knee at this 90-degree angle is not necessarily right over the ankle. Instead, it's protruding forward because that's how your joints are when we're at a 90-degree in a squat. Your pistol squat, hands are gonna be in front. With hands in front, I want you to contract the upper abdominals. A pistol squat requires a lot of core strength. You got to really pull in from the powerhouse. You got to really push down with the forefoot, although the heel stays down. You really have to use the quad and the glute to control up and deceleration down. You're going to use your right heel as a little bit of some support in order for the hips to be even and not allow yourself to hike or compensate as you're coming up and down. So tying all that in. So I'm going to come all the way down, come all the way up for 30 seconds, I believe, right? So if this is pretty doable for you, and as you're coming up and down, you can feel that quad working, then I want you to focus on maybe lifting that heel up, coming down, pressing up. Inhale down, exhale up. Now, with the foot off the ground, it requires a lot of hip flexor strength and a lot of lower abdominal strength. You also have to have the flexibility in the hamstring in order to hold that leg up. So we're going to work through that when we do bar, because there's a lot of exercises that we do with that one leg up in the air, as well as with Pilates, okay? So just changing angles one last time, and then we'll actually do the test together. So my right leg's bent now, my alignment, knee driving towards second, third toe, making O with the arms, left heel drives down, a little bit of a contraction through the upper abs, drive it up, drive it up. So as I'm coming up and down, last and final cue, I want you to work on not allowing your hips to excessively hike. They will initially, okay, but I need you to focus on loading the top part of your quad, push down with the forefoot. If you feel like as you're coming down, you reach a certain point where you just kind of collapse and fall, that is okay. You have to train your body in the range of motion. You have to get the flexibility and you have to get the strength at the bottom, but also at the top of an exercise. So with that said, that's the demo. I'm going to hit the timer and we're going to actually do the fit test. So whether you do it with me now or we do it on Monday. So let me turn the timer on. So we're starting with your 3-second negative push-up. You have 5 seconds and then you're going to hear my little bell. All right, here we go. Push-ups, 3 seconds down in 3, 2, 1. There's a bell. Down 1, 2, 3, and up. Down 1, 2, 3. That's 2. Down 1, 2, 3, up 3. Down 1, 2, 3, up 4. Down 1, 2, 3, up 5. Down 1, 2, 3, up 6. Down 1, 2, 3, up 7. Down 1, 2, 3, up 8. Down 1, 2, 3, up 9. Down 1, 2, 3, up 10. Down 1, 2, 3, and up 11. I got 11. So I'm going to write that down. So now roll up to boat, teaser. I said, what did I say for that one? I said a minute. Did I say a minute on that one? Excuse me 1 second. Let's just check. Movement sent. I'm sorry, I wrote it down earlier. Let's see, max roll up in 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go, 30 seconds. You're ready? Start at the top of the sit-up. Coming up here, ready? Here we go. Down, roll it up. There's 1. Reach back, 2. I'm gonna start going into teaser. 3. Dog roll it up, 4. Pull up and over, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9. Band, bridge, ladder. Oh boy, here we go. Band around legs, above knees. Not for time. Here we go, you ready? All right, hip width apart, tension that band, draw elbows in, anchor armpits and elbows. Here we go, 15. Down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hold out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, hold, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, hold out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, hold up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, hold out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, hold up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, hold out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, hold down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, hold out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, push up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 1, 2, 3, out, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, 1, up, 1, out, and that is the bridge ladder. So with this one, were you able to sustain the whole ladder without needing to rest? If so, high five. If not, and your back needed some rest, so here's some options. You can, rather than keeping the hips up on the abduction, you can periodically keep the hips on the ground, still focus on keeping abs contracted, all 10 toes still gripping the ground, and I can still abduct, but there's a little bit of recovery for the glutes and they're not as much in hip extension, okay? So that is a stepping stone in order to get the endurance and the strength to be able to keep it up at the top as we go up and down. All right, halfway down. All right, so a 1-minute plank on forearms and toes, tucking. Here we go. Tucking is so great. You know, it really helped me with pelvic floor muscles and leakage. So that can be, think of it, it is difficult, but think of it also as a blessing in disguise. So let's change this to a minute. Discard, 1 minute. All right, you're ready? Come on to forearms and toes. Tuck the hips under, draw it in, make a rectangle, 1 minute. So you know I'm not lying with the time. So neck neutral. I like a palm up or a fisted grip. Get the upper body recruited into it. Anchor the forearms and fist in. Nice heavy tuck now. Tuck the hips. I forgot to tuck. I was holding my plank. So take that pelvis, tuck it up and in. Remember, I'm not just swaying in my low back. I'm not heavily arching. I'm only going to neutral lumbar spine, and then I'm pulling, think my pubic bone up and in, scooping my pelvic floor contents up and in. Think of squeezing through the big toes. Think of squeezing the inner thighs. Pretend like you really have to go to the bathroom and you got to pull up and in and squeeze. Okay, so if that low back starts straining or you feel like you just can't tuck, this is when I need you to drop to those toes. So focus on not shrugging through the shoulders. You got 4 more seconds. Come on, be with me. 3, breathe, 2, and 1, rest. All right, a 1-minute army crawl. Remember, you can always rock the tippy toes. You ready? Forearm toes. hold that plank. So with this, connect with the big toes, quads, glutes. I'm using my ankles. Think flick, flick, flick. You got to use the ankles in order to help propel and push you forward, okay? So don't keep the feet super flexed the entire time. Unless we have feet on discs, which yes, sometimes we do, requires a lot more core strength. Today, I just want you to connect with body weight stuff. But remember, we're not allowing butt to drive too high up and downward dog. I need that butt level with the shoulders and the head, 25 more seconds. If you start getting tired, then you start to rock, glide like a carriage. But notice how you could still put a broom pole on my back and it would still be pretty level. You got 12 more seconds. So I'm pulling with my lats. I'm not allowing the shoulders to shrug to the ears. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. All right, guys. Pistol squat, Bulgarian split squat. Those 2 and you are done. So grab your chair nearby. 30 seconds left, 30 seconds right. I'm gonna have my right foot in front. Just go ahead and change my timer real quick. I said right foot. Right foot. Here we go. 30 seconds. All right. Remember, tuck the back hip, stack. Make sure knees driving towards the toes, but not over. Go ahead and find your balance. Here we go. 3, 2, there's your 30. So there's 1. Knee drive straight down. 2, 3, 4, 5. So as I'm coming up, my front knee is not super locked out, but I do feel both glutes contracting at the top. That's 10 for me. Here's 1, got 8 more seconds. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 15. Ready, other leg. In 3, 2, and 1. So do whatever works for you with the hands. 4, 5, 6. But remember, you are primarily working the front leg. 8, 9, you're halfway. 1, 2, 3. Remember, hips driving straight back. No rotation through hips. You are going to get that stretch on that back knee coming down. And rest. All right. Pistol squat. I'm having a seat. Left leg in front. Here we go. Staggered stance first. 2, 3. So remember, you want to push and extend through the knee. Contract the quad, the glute. So even as you're coming down, you can't let the butt rest and push back. You gotta keep the quad loaded the entire time. Here's 30, switch legs. So maybe first round, when you try to test in a staggered stance, or you never know, try it with the leg up. If you feel like you're starting to lean too much or you just plop, regress, build the movement, find strength in every joint that's working. If you have tight calves, weak ankles, you're gonna find that your foot might flatten and roll in, your knee might dive in. So that's when, rest, that's when I need you to come into a staggered stance. So that is the end of your fit test. So we've tested core strength, shoulder stabilization, your tuck position, your powerhouse, spinal flexion, extension through the roll up and down. We've tested hamstring, glute, quad strength. We tested your chest and shoulders on the push-up. So that in those 7 seconds or 7 exercises, test everything. It's all body weight. Sometimes less is more. You don't need heavy weight in order to prove how strong you are. It's being able to do calisthenic exercises like these. If you don't have the range of motion today, then I'm going to coach you, tell you what muscles we need to lengthen, strengthen to get that as a whole working together. So with that said, great job on your fit test, and I will see you on Monday. Okay? Bye, guys.